From Los Angeles to a worldwide audience, this is Boaz Power TV, where we take your life to the next level. Now, internationally known speaker and author, here's Boaz.
Hi, welcome to the Power Show. You are part of the Power Nation, and I'm so glad you're here. Because here we help you to improve your attitude, your relationships, your finances, and your career as we take your life to the next level. This is episode number 234 on Boaz Power TV, and it's entitled, The Champions Know How to Focus. Well, Olympic champions know how to do it. Astronauts know they must do it. Highly successful people depend on it. The common denominator is focus. As a young man in the Boy Scouts in Oklahoma, I became quite proficient in marksmanship with .22 caliber rifles. The key was to focus, find the center of the target, and then hold my breath for a second when pulling the trigger. Do you realize why holding your breath is important? Because the pulse can make your hand jump. Amazing. As you may know, I was born in Israel and came to America with my parents when I was 9. None of us could speak a word of English. But by the time I was in high school as a junior, I had learned enough English to become a newscaster on the largest rock and roll radio station in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, don't get overly impressed. Come on. 2 months later, I was fired. With many high school students listening to me at night, I was so popular, and then I suddenly got fired. 2 problems. I had a German accent, and I couldn't read well on the air. Other than that, I was perfect. And determined, I went to work with my speech teacher, focused, and 6 months later, I got rid of the accent, gained some confidence in reading out loud, and went to work for another large radio station. Now, these 2 incidents are examples of what happens with focus. Yet, most people see their lives as a blur of anxiety, worry, and stress. My father was a carpenter and a builder. He would never have considered building a house without a detailed blueprint. He didn't just approach a piece of property, have a truck unload a stack of wood, and hope that a house would magically appear. Voila! Nope. Yet most people never take the time on a regular basis to form and follow a blueprint for their lives, and then they wonder what happened. Now, the question is, do you regularly sit down and think about your future? Most people don't. If you answer that you don't have the time to do that, I believe you're hoping that a house will appear from a stack of wood. As I coach people throughout North America, the main thing I do is help them focus. The following are some of the questions I ask people. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 1 year? What are your main objectives for the next 30 days? What are your top objectives for this week? What do you need to do to achieve your objectives for this week? In addition to work, what are you going to do this week to get away from work and enjoy life? What are some exciting rewards that you desire? Notice that we start with a long-range plan and then break it down to this week. Long-term goals don't necessarily have to be believed. However, the short-term goals do. It's like the old adage, what you see and believe is what you'll get. So if the short-term goals are too high, you're not going anywhere. Only about 3% of the people in this country write down goals. The rest just wonder what happened. I encourage you to be part of that 3%. Aren't you the CEO of your own life? I believe you are. If you were a corporation, how well would you rate the way you're running you? Are you focused on a clear picture you've identified in writing? Are you steering your ship toward a desirable harbor, or are you simply drifting along? If you are not spending much time focusing on your future, and particularly the financial portion of it, then let's start with just 5 minutes a week. Eventually, you can build up to an hour. Would an exciting, rewarding, happy future be worth just 1 hour a week? I think so. So if you desire to be financially independent, debt-free, to building loving relationships, enjoying more time with your family, or working on a hobby, a clear written plan of action will help tremendously. Start with 5 minutes a week. Focus, aim for the target, take action, and you too can hit an exciting, worthwhile target. Once you have written some specific goals, write some affirmations like the kind I give you at the end of each one of these messages. Affirmations are statements of what you desire, written as if they were already accomplished, with a date and an emotion. Now here are some examples using the money goal. It's December 31, and you put in a date at the end of the year. I now have, this would be the long-range goal, so you would set a date, let's say 5 years from now. Let's say you wanted to have $100,000 in savings. So you write down, it is December 31, 5 years from the end of this year. I now have at least $100,000 in savings toward my retirement. I am debt-free and I am excited. Now, an idea of a short-term goal would be the end of this year, an intermediate goal, the end of this year. So let's say that at the end of this year, you want to have at least $5,000 in savings. I mean, if you're going to go to $100,000 in 5 years, you got to break it down and start somewhere. So you would write down, it's December 31, and you put the end of this year. I now have at least $5,000 in savings and on my way toward becoming debt-free. I am excited. Notice that we're now breaking down the long-term goals into smaller, manageable pieces. Be sure to set these at a level that you can actually see. If the number is not believable, lower it until it is. Then you write another one that's 30 days from now. It is, and you write the end of the next 30 days. I now have $500 in savings. I've paid off my smallest debt, and I'm excited. So we started with $100,000, broke it down to $5,000 by the end of the year, and maybe $500 at the end of next month. And if you don't believe that, lower it even more. Affirmations in your life's blueprint can be written for each area: relationships, finance, health, education, and spiritual desires. Read these affirmations, the first thing each morning and the last thing each night. Do not analyze them, just read them out loud. Within 21 days, you'll be amazed. You will believe every word, and I believe you will find yourself taking small steps toward those specific goals. Now, in addition, I want you to get some pictures of exciting rewards you desire and look at them every day. The mind responds to pictures. Don't worry about the how, just clarify an exciting why, a reason to get excited. I'm picturing a great future for you because you are going to write down your goals, aren't you? Thank you. So here is a goal-setting affirmation for this edition of Boaz Power TV. You may want to write this one down, read it morning and evening. It could be beneficial. I write down specific goals for my life this week. I will write down some specific goals for my life this week. Read it morning and evening, and by the end of the week, I guarantee you will have done so. Thank you for joining me. If you like these messages, and many people around the world do, please forward this to somebody special in your life. Suggest they also go to my website, boazpower.com, and they can subscribe to the free weekly broadcast of Boaz Power TV. You are unique, you are special, you are destined for greatness, and I believe that you are writing some goals down this week because I see it in you. You are a champion. Have a powerful day.
This has been Boaz Power TV. To comment, see other episodes, or to subscribe to this free broadcast, go to our blog at boazpower.com. That's boazpower.com. We're here to take your life to the next level.